Already recording.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Human Design Hotline podcast. Today, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you a splenic manifester who is a 2-4. So you already know that I'm a 2-4, she's a 2-4. This is going to be a really, really fun conversation. Please welcome to the Human Design Hotline, Theodora Pendragon. Hello! Welcome, welcome,
Hello.
welcome, my dear. How are you feeling today?
I am wonderful, and thank you for inviting me here.
I loved talking to you when I was on your podcast. So I was like, I'd love to talk human design. And basically, my motivation for you being here is to bridge the gap between human design and the occult and witchcraft and woo, because I have been practicing my own craft since I think I did my first candle spell at 16 to find a boyfriend. It worked. And then after that, not so much. I was sold after that. But I know that there's so much more to the craft. So I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about yourself and really go into the story of what created who you be in this moment.
Okay, we're talking about many years. I'm
Mhm.
62. um, I believe I can go back as far as 6 years old when I was fascinated with Samantha Stevens and Bewitched. And I told my mom that when I grow up, I want to be a witch just like Samantha. And she said, witches are only on television. They're not real.
Oh,
Well, they are real. And I did learn that in my teens. And I became fascinated with everybody I met who identified as a witch. I just thought, wow, they are so special. They know special stuff. I didn't realize they were ordinary people and anybody can be a witch.
mm.
And it wasn't until my 20s that I became more and more interested and started reading and met people who helped me with my journey.
Oh, I love that. By any chance, can you higher the volume on your end? Because I can barely hear you, and I think that you have an absolutely fascinating story.
Okay, audio.
So, Theodora, do you feel like you want to get into what happened in your 20s and how it led to where you are now, how it began the trajectory of who you are in this current date and time?
When I was in the Army, I had a roommate. And when I was moving in to her room, which was my room, okay, I was
Mhm.
the new person coming in. She just informed me that she had to tell me that she was a witch and she practiced the Wiccan religion. I
Mhm.
said, "Well, what's Wicca? What is that? What do you mean by you're Wiccan?" So
Yeah.
she explained it, and I said, "Oh, I think that's what I am." And I actually learned a lot from her. So I would say that was really the jump start.
I'm going to ask you an off witchy question, because one of the things that you and I have in common is being first responders. You were in the military, I was a police officer. Did you find that Wicca kind of found its way into your day-to-day activities when you were active military, or did that come online? Was that something that you didn't do while you were, at work?
I think it was always within me. But back then, the military didn't identify pagan religions.
Mhm. Were you able, when you were active, to conduct your rituals? Did you have an issue with that, or was that something that was easy enough for you to do in order to grow your own belief system?
It was easy enough for me to do. Yeah. Because I didn't have to go to a building like some people did to, yeah.
So can you tell us, since I already spilled the beans that my first candle magic was to get a boyfriend at 16, can you remember your first experiment or adventure into your craft?
Well, embarrassingly, it is a love spell.
I love it.
Okay, but I've learned you do not do that.
Right? It just takes once. You just got to learn once. It's like
Right.
when you walk, when you have to go to the bathroom and you just open the door and there's somebody sitting there going to the bathroom. Like you only have to do that once to always knock.
Right.
I think
Right.
it's with love spells too. You just have to do one once. And then you get back, which and it's just like, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna let the universe handle this.
But you also have to be careful that you can't get rid of that person.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
It took me 2 years to get rid of him.
Oh my gosh.
I had to marry someone else before
Oh
he
shit.
got it.
This is way spicier than my first love spell, my first and only love spell.
That was the only, yes, that was the
Right?
only.
Ooh. Can you tell our audience what has been one of your favorite rituals or spells that you have done for you that has really shown you that this is real, that there is so much more out there and that we have all this power? Do you have a favorite experience?
I would say just living every day,
Mm-hmm.
and relying on my guides and relying on spirit. Every single day, I can see the magic, I can feel the magic, and it happens.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that. So I know we cut you off in your 20s. Is there anything that has from your 20s to today that you feel is an incredibly important part of your story?
What I would say is important is the whole broom closet, because I knew that it wasn't acceptable in many circles. And so I kept that to myself. And that journey was kind of a slow journey.
Mhm.
It wasn't until I met more people like me, like-minded, that it's like, you know what? I have to stop caring about what people think. I am who I am. And, we all walk this path on our own, and it has to be our path.
Oh, I love that. So we know that this is the Human Design Hotline. So are you ready? Are you ready to see your human design?
I'm ready because I don't know anything about it.
This is my favorite. I'm not even going to lie to you. One of my favorite things in the entire world is being able to show somebody their human design and validate for them their life experience. So really quickly, because I know that you're new, you are, when we look up here, because we're all a type and a profile, you are a 2-4 splenic projector. What that means is your intuition is your inner authority. So as a 2-4, you are known as a hermit opportunist. Those are the keywords that Ra gives us. Now, I'm also a 2/4, and I like to I call us natural influencers, because the hermit is also known as the natural, and the opportunist is also known as the influencer. So for me, saying natural influencer just feels a little bit lighter. There's not so much heaviness, but I also very much relate to the hermit aspect as well. Now, for those of you that are listening to the podcast and aren't watching on YouTube, I just want to break down your chart for you to the body graph. So Theodora has a defined head and ajna, which only 30% of the population have. Congratulations, you're part of our group now. I also have a defined head and ajna. Her definition comes from the 6124 channel, which is known as the channel of awareness. This, oh my God, I'm just going to talk about it now because I can't help myself. When I think of intuition, when I think of just taking divinity and using it to be of service to others, having that connection to divinity, that is the 2461 channel. It is knowing that there is a higher purpose, looking for your inner truth. Gate 61 is the gate of inner, it's called inner truth. And this is going to be a channel for you that is incredibly important. I will say it's incredibly important to your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being, that you are always searching for the truth. You are always doing things in the truth. You are not out of it. It's not something, you don't do things that do not agree or align with your values. It's very much, I seek. I am always a seeker. I am an adventurer. You're in Aries, right? No surprise there that you were in the military. I am an Aries, and I was a police officer. Absolutely no surprise that as female Aryans, I guess that's what we would be called, that we would be drawn to such a masculine career and feel comfortable in it. So I love that this 6124 for you is this, I see it for you like as a lightning bolt. You, in my mind, the way that I see it is the information drops in, and you need and desire community in order to express it out in the world. How does that feel?
I would say that's pretty accurate.
Now, do you get, like, again, I'm going to call them lightning bolts of inspiration. Do you find that things just drop in when you least expect them?
Oh, yes. And I act on them too. I've learned to act on them.
Yes, 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 yes. I love that. I love that. Because this is such a beautiful, I love that you have, as a splenic projector, I love that you have a defined head and ajna, because it, to me, lends so much to your craft. Because as a splenic authority, your intuition is what keeps you alive. In human design, our splenic center is about survival. It is about the fears that we have. When I take a look at your chart, and we'll go over it, because I'm just, all of a sudden I'm like, I want to tell her everything. I get really excited about it. So we'll go back. Well, let's go back to actually talking about your centers defined for those that are just listening. Theodora has a defined head and ajna. She has an undefined throat, G center, heart center, sacral center, and solar plexus. So her other two centers that make her a splenic projector are her definition in her spleen to root through the channel of transformation, the 3254. This is something that actually you and I both have as well. This is the pressure to achieve and have purpose in our life. Gate 54, right here in the root center, is known as the marrying maiden. This gate says, I know that this is my come up. I am designed to come up from where I was to where I want to be. I know that I have purpose. I know that I need to achieve in order to fulfill my purpose in this lifetime. How does that feel?
Oh, I'm always chasing something, some goal. There's always a goal.
Yes, I love that. Now, an interesting thing that I noticed was that you have gate 62, which is known as the preponderance of the small. It's the gate of details in your purpose, in your unconscious earth, which is known as the purpose sphere in the gene keys. To me, one of the things, one of the ways in which you fulfill your purpose is making sure that all of the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. It's very much knowing the detail and making sure the details are correct before putting something out or before expressing yourself. Details to you matter. Do you resonate with that?
Does that mean I'm a perfectionist?
A little bit sometimes, maybe, perhaps.
I strive for perfection. When I have a thing, I strive for perfection. So yes, it's important to pay attention to all those details.
Oh my gosh, okay, good. I also, one of the things that instead of using the word details, can you tell me if you notice patterns? Are you somebody that picks up on patterns?
Patterns in myself or other people?
Both.
I can, of course, see other people's patterns more quickly than I see mine.
Mhm. So one of the bonuses, one of the gifts of Gate 62 is actually being able to visually see people's patterns. And what I love for you, even though this is what is known as a hanging gate, so it's always like stretching to get to gate 17, which would make it a channel. While in the shadow, this could be, I have to know everything before I put this out, or using your intellect. In the shadow, it's using your intellect instead of your feeling. That can sometimes happen. When you're in the healthy expression of this gate, especially because it's a 0.4, this can be one of your gifts can be spotting patterns, looking for the tiny pieces, the spaces in between, not only for yourself, but for your clients and even for your community. It's something that you do. It is a gift that you have that other people don't. Like, for example, I have gate 17, but I don't have gate 62. I will tell you right now, the one thing that gets me hung up about anything are the tiny little details. When I am in my zone, when I'm like, oh my God, I have to get all this done, I start getting really nitpicky, and then that actually stops me from moving forward. It's like my trauma response is I have to know every single thing so that I can answer every single question. And if I don't have that, I'm just going to freeze or I'm going to run. So for you, it's almost like it would be almost like the opposite. For you, it is the sense of seeing the pattern, knowing the detail, but in the shadow, you may be afraid or fearful to express that opinion. Gate 17 is the gate of opinions. So you may not say what you truly think if you are afraid that it may disrupt or emotionally irregulate somebody that's asking you a question. How does that feel so far?
I would say that would be accurate because I do try to avoid turmoil, chaos, drama.
Yep. And guess what? I'm going to invite you to look at chaos from a different angle. And I would love to show you why. When I am reading for somebody, one of my favorite things to do is to take a look at where you are when it comes to the 6 lines of the I Ching. So in human design, our lines go from 1 to 6 because that's how many lines there are in the I Ching. When I take a look at your chart, you have 27% are 27% of your 26 gates. So 7 of your placements are in line 3. And they're in the personality side. So that's the side of your mind. Line 3 is chaos, and it's chaos in the shadow. The third line is really about adapting to the circumstances that you are surrounded with. It is a lot of trial and error. It is also resiliency. When I talk about the 3 line, I tell people it's like the 9 of Wands energy. It's fall down 9 times, get up 10. So the third line, another amazing and fun thing about the third line is when we take and look at your chart, any placement that you have that ends in a 0.3 is someplace that you can make money. This is doubly important when it is an undefined center. I'm going to talk about the 6 line too as well, because the 6 line, you also have 7 lines in line 6, but a majority of those are on your design side, which rules the body. So your body can feel very much like, I'm really tired of all this trial and error bullshit. I really just want to relax. Can you just stop running? I need a moment. I have a vision of where I want to go. And this is where I want to take you. I know that sometimes your body might get, or your mind might get really excited about something and want to shift a direction. But the body says, I've been there before, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Let's not go there again. But then your mind says, but it's an adventure. So as for you, it is about coming back to the projector strategy and authority, which is your spleen, asking yourself, is this healthy for me? Will let you know if it is your body you need to listen to, or are you just going to run crazy with the mind? And waiting for recognition and invitation. A lot of times as projectors, you you have a focused and penetrating aura. You can see into people in a very uncomfortable for them way if they are not open to it. Now, if you have somebody who is open to it, they will almost, especially if it's a generator. I'm a generator. 70% of the population are generators. Our strategy for life is to respond. So generators and projectors have a really beautiful relationship because generators go out in the world and they are designed to respond to what we see and feel. We see and feel you and what you do, and we go, ooh, hey, Theodora, that's some pretty neat shit you're doing. Can you tell me all about it? Just by saying that, I have recognized your gift and I have invited you to tell me more. And as a projector, when that happens, when your spleen says, oh yeah, we want to talk to her, you feel your signature of success, however success feels to you. Now, the issue that projectors have is seeing a solution to a problem for somebody and not waiting for recognition or invitation, and then going, oh my God, Maureen, let me tell you, I know all of these things. Let me help you out. I know you're having problems. I have the solutions for you. Blah, 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 blah. If I'm not open to that, I will look at you like, what the fuck I didn't ask you for that. And then that leaves you with a sense of bitterness, which is the projector not self theme. How does that feel?
I would say that's pretty accurate. Because if I am perceiving that I'm helping you in some way and you reject that help, then I back off and feel rejected. But if you're open to it, it just makes me excited for you and I want to help you.
Yes. And I love that you have consistently talked about wanting to help people, because that completely tracks with your tribal circuitry. So we not only in human design do we have the lines and the gates, but we also have circuitry. You are 35% tribal circuitry, which is all about supporting your people. So you are energetically designed to help people move through their troubles, their challenges in a way that shows them, hey, I've been there and I've done that, and I'm not judging you, and I'm absolutely going to help you. Also, with your 6 lines, you have an air about you that you are a teacher, right? That's all those 6 lines in the body. You present very much like you know what you're talking about, and you are going to teach me something, and you are going to be that teacher, be that expert through your lived experience so that you can help the tribe. How does that feel?
I would say that's pretty accurate.
I love it. I love it. So I know one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is how we can take a look at a body graph and validate the witchy woo-ness. So I immediately saw it. Like, I know I was so, I knew, I had a feeling. So in human design, we do have what is known as like the mystic circuitry that's very divine. It's a very spiritual circuitry that's not so much talked about online. It's kind of like, until you ask about it, nobody's really going to tell you. And one of the things that I notice immediately, especially with not only myself or my friends, but with people that I just read for, those people who want to really understand life and who are ready to get out of their comfort zone, which I absolutely feel is part of our calling to this craft, is gate 51. It's actually the whole channel of the 2551, which is known as the channel of initiation. When you have gate 51, it is known as the gate of shock. It is a gate of competition. It is a gate of I want to go first, initiation. When you connect to somebody with gate 25, there is a electromagnetic charge to the experience. And gate 51 is the initiator of change for not only that gate 25 person, but also for themselves. Because every time you initiate somebody into their next greatest level, you also are learning more about yourself and rising. Gate 51 is always trying to reach for gate 25, which is the gate of universal love. This is where I hope this blows your mind. Where is gate 51 in your chart? Oh, look, gate 51.3, making money, is in your undefined heart center. Mercury is about communication. Your verbal dance that you do, what you speak, the knowledge and the wisdom that you contain, that is something that is going to help you be more abundant and prosperous in your business. So having a business and having a practice of witchcraft, of something that, oh my God, is so shocking to people. I can't, oh my God. Chef's kiss for you. Chef's kiss for you. On top of, I don't know where that came from. On top of, my dear, you have one other gate in your undefined heart center, which is gate 40. Gate 40 is red and black, which tells me that it is a placement on both your conscious and unconscious side. Your gate 40 is in your Pluto's. In your conscious Pluto, it is at 40.3. Again, when you would, so gate 40, I have gate 40 in my Saturn. So this is a lesson for me to learn, but this is something for you that is completely transformative. Pluto transforms us. When gate 40 is known as the gate of deliverance. That's the official name. On the street, we call this the gate of aloneness. It is about thinking and feeling that you have to earn somebody's love and respect in order to feel worthy of being part of their life. It is gate 40 is a love gate. It's what I love earning my love. What can I do for you so that you can see that I want to be part of your life? One of the things about gate 40 is it can also feel very much like you are alone. And that's why they call it the gate of aloneness. When we take a look at this gate 40, it's always reaching for gate 37 in the emotional solar plexus. Gate 40, when it is hanging like it is for you, always reaching for community. What can I do to be part of this community? How can I serve? How can I earn in order to be part of this community, to be loved and to be accepted into this community. How does that resonate with you so far?
I guess this is news to me. I never really looked at it that way.
Yes. Oh, okay. I love that. Oh, well, here, do you have any questions about that?
40 is Pluto, and it's
Correct.
40.3. And you said everything with 0.3
Mhm.
equals money.
Money, correct. So if it's in an undefined center, so any of the centers that are not colored in, those are gates that will help you create prosperity when you are in service to others. So if we were to take a look really quick, gate 7 is, and you have gate 7.3 in your north node. That is all about leadership. It's also a gate, and it's gate, your north node usually activates around the age of 44. So both of your north nodes are in gate 7. So this is about allowing your people to vote you into becoming the leader. How do you lead? Through line 3, which in gate 7 is known as the anarchist. But line 3 is about burning down the shit that doesn't work so that you can rebuild something better. This is what you are designed to be doing, the path that you are going to have been taking since the age of 44. We also take a look at your south node. Your south node is in 13.3. 13, both 13 and 7 are in your undefined G center. G center is about the direction that you're going and about love ability. Gate 13 is known as the gate of secrets. People, you may have noticed throughout your life that people will just come up to you and just dish. Like they want you to know all the tea, and you're just like, I just want to check out with this toilet paper and with this Kleenex. I'm sick. I don't need to know about your shit. But people cannot help but be like, oh my God, Theodora, I have to tell you something so juicy. How does that feel for you?
I thought it was because I'm a therapist and people will tell me all their business because somehow they found out I'm a therapist, or maybe I mention it in passing and I'm thinking, oh, I should not have said what my profession is. Here we go again.
Right?
But maybe that would happen anyway if I don't tell them, right? It's like sitting next to somebody on the plane and they tell you their whole business, before they get off the flight, and you think, whoo,
Yeah.
that was a story.
Yeah. So it could be a little bit of both. This in the South Node, this to me, the way that I feel the South Node, these are gifts that you have, that you've always had, that just kind of happen, that you don't really have to tweak them. It's just some shit you're good at. You're just a really good listener. And the aura that you present is, I want you to know, I need to tell you all the things. That's what gate 13 does. It's an open invitation for like juicy secrets. Did you ever, as a child, want to be a spy?
No, but somehow I always knew the gossip.
Yes. Gate 13.
I didn't look for it. I just knew it. It just came to
Exactly.
me.
I love it. Gate 13. Delicious. So you've got the G center. And so you have these two gates that have line 3. 51.3, we've already talked about, the gate of shock, right? I would invite you to push your podcast a little bit more out of your comfort zone. Keep driving, getting doing the things and having the guests on that people are like, holy shit, I can't believe it. Like some of that fun shit, right? Just for fun. See how it happens. See kind of how it feels for you to push yourself out of your comfort zone.
So what you're saying is to make it funner.
Hell yeah. I think it's fun to begin with, but like, who doesn't want more fun? Right? I
Right.
would even be so, I would say give it a little bit of an edge. Give it a little bit of an edge. What's something in your community? What is a topic of huge controversy right now?
Well, I live in the Bible Belt. So if I could get a Bible belter on my show, that might be fun.
I'm just saying, think about it. Think about it. Even if you had, like, because you're a fourth line and community is so important to us, getting 2 or 3 people, even 2 people, because you want that third, that I love threes. I do threes. Like, that's just the thing. Get a couple of guests, maybe a fellow witch and a Bible belter, and let's see. We're going to be respectful. Like, there are rules to
Oh, of
engagement. And
course.
you girl, you already know. Just see what happens, right? Just, you never know. You never know. So,
I bet I could find one of those people.
oh my God, I'm so excited. I will absolutely listen to that episode. Like, I want to listen to it now. That's how excited I am about it. So you also have 24.3 and 19.3, but those are in defined centers. So we wouldn't necessarily use those to sell and to make a profit, because in our defined centers, these are things that we have consistent energy to them. So as a defined head in Ajna, you may be really stubborn about, like, your ideas and beliefs. I know for myself as a defined head in Ajna, if you want to change my belief system, I'm going to need to see a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to need a book. I'm going to need references. You're going to have to do a lot to change my mind. Does that idea resonate with you?
Yes,
I love that. And what
I do too.
what I'm finding is I can take a stand for what I believe in, and also have the perspective and open-mindedness to listen to what other people have to say. And when I do that, as a defined head in Ajna, it not only helps me learn more, but I really feel like it takes the pressure off of the person I'm speaking with, who are more than likely going to be undefined or open in their head. And when you're open or undefined in your head, there is a lot of mental pressure to find and act on inspiration that you receive. So when I sit as somebody who is defined and say, I would really love to hear your perspective, and I keep an open mind, I think it really helps people. How do you feel about that?
I agree.
Perfect. Okay. So, my dear, and you have gate 20, well, no, 29 is, 29.3. Oh my God, of course. Your 29.3 is in your conscious Uranus. Gate 29 is in your sacral. Your sacral is life force energy. The gate 29 is known as the abysmal, but it's also known as, it's part of the channel of discovery, and it's all about saying yes to the right opportunities that light you up. So when you say yes to an opportunity that makes you feel good, that is healthy for you, the sky is the limit. This is also something that you can use to help sell what you offer to your community. right? Uranus is the planet of the unexpected. It is the planet of the future. The way I could see this playing out for you in a business role, in a business aspect, is showing off, and not in a shit way, but you know what I mean. Showing people the joy, the fun, the excitement of what you are here to sell them, to what you are, what gifts you have. Look at this. Look at what I can do. Look at how I live in the world when I said yes to the calling of my craft. All of these amazing things happen. Do you want to know how to do this? Come and join me. Let me show you how worthy you are of all of your desires. Let me push you out of your comfort zone so that you can be the next greatest version of who you are. Allow me to lead you on this path of self-discovery through ritual, through the craft. How does that sound?
That sounds inspiring.
And as somebody with a defined head and ajna, you're 100% speaking to your undefined head and ajna people in the community. You literally can inspire them to do great things simply by offering the gift of who you are.
You're making me sound awfully special.
You kind of awfully are. So, my dear, do you have any, I know, I feel like I just got out of soapbox. Do you have any questions for me?
I really like all how you focused on how I can make money. You know, as they say, money makes the world go round. Everybody's interested in money, right?
100%.
But it's really good to know what I should focus on. That's what this chart tells me.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you right now, gate 42, that's your sun, right? Gate 42 is in your undefined sacral. It is about cycles. For you, it is incredibly important to close one cycle before you open something new, allowing the cycles of life to move through you is something that will benefit you immensely. So for you to be a witch, to practice ritual, to honor the seasons, the cycles, fucking chef's kiss. I could not make this up. Couldn't make it up. Looking for your inner truth, making that something that really is so important to your health is your inner truth, right? Getting all of the details right, finding the patterns. That's not only your purpose for your community, but it's also what drives you because 62.5 is also your conscious moon. It is what drives you to do great things. When you are inspired, you said it earlier, when I get inspiration, I just go. That is what drives you. I am inspired by what divinity has shown me, how I can see the patterns, how I move through this world, how this person moves through this world. I am driven to help people with that, to be of service and help people grow. Not only, again, in money, but it's also something that drives you internally. We can look at also your unconscious moon, and that is in gate 24, which is known as the gate of returning. At the shadow level, the key word here is addiction. You may at times get a mindset stuck in your brain, and it just keeps going and going and going. It's the addiction of the mindset. A lot of times, this happens to do with the mindset, the limiting belief that you will play over and over and over in your head that stops you. from actually moving forward. But the gift of gate 24 is invention. You are not only through your conscious moon driven to help yourself and other people spot patterns, but you are also driven by the need to do something new, to invent a new way. How does that feel?
Oh, I like new.
Uh-huh.
New is inspiring.
Yes.
I don't like to be stagnant.
Yes, 100%. I love
I'm
it.
chasing the next thing,
Don't
the
chase.
next idea.
Don't chase. Follow your bliss.
Words are important. Follow my bliss.
And again, you can do whatever you want. You're a grown woman. I don't like saying the word chase because to me, it always feels like if I'm chasing something, I'll never catch it. But when I'm following something, that thing knows I'm there and it feels much lighter. Like, oh, getting closer. Oh, you can catch. It's more of a game instead of chase. That's how I feel. And again, you can use chase. I always just use the word follow because it feels like light and fluffy to me and fun.
And the way I think of it is follow your heart.
Ooh, okay.
Follow your heart.
Ooh, okay. My dear, I want to be very respectful of your time. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for letting me like hang out and like play with your human design. And I would love for you to tell our audience how they can get a hold of you, what you do, all of the things. And just to let you all know, anything that she says here, I'm going to have this down in the show notes for you. I invite you to be part of Theodora's community. She is absolutely fantastic. You've seen her chart, you know, oh, it's just delicious. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to shut up now because you know I can keep talking. And Miss Theodora, you have the stage, my dear.
You can follow me on Instagram at Theodora Pendragon, and that's where I usually hang out. I
Mhm.
do have a Facebook, but all these platforms is just sometimes it's just overwhelming and it's easier just to spend more time on one than any of the others. And probably next week they're going to come up with new
I'm
social
sure.
media platforms. It's like, oh no, another one and another one. You can find me on Instagram. And there I also post my new episodes of my podcast too. So my podcast is Witchcasting with Theodora Pendragon, and you can find it wherever podcasts are streamed.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you have a link tree or a website that people can go to see all of the services that you provide?
I do have something similar to Linktree on my Instagram where it has on my website. So it has a link to the podcast. And
Beautiful.
I also have a shop. It's called witchcasting.shop.
Mhm.
And then my podcast website, if you just want to go directly to the podcast,
Yeah.
that on my website, it's witchcasting.com.
I love it. I love it.
So I love the word witchcasting.
It is. I really do love that. Yeah, it just has a zhuzh about it. Like, ooh, I don't know. I love that. Like my ears really enjoy that.
And I did have a spark just recently
Oh,
where I want to offer classes, and it hasn't been developed yet, but I will be offering witch casting wisdom. And the first course I'm going to be offering is learning Lenormand,
oh.
their fortune telling cards.
Oh. Okay. Okay. I'm going to refrain from saying I want to buy all of those things. But I'm very excited. That's fun. I read tarot. I've never learned how to read those cards. So it'll be.
Well, you know what? That's my new addiction. I received a birthday gift from a friend, and it was a set of Lenormand cards, and I had never heard of them.
Yeah.
So I thought, wow, what is this? Of course, I want to learn about it. I bought books, I watched YouTube, and I
Mhm.
was hooked. It's
Ah,
easier than tarot.
well, shit.
So I created my own deck, which are on Kickstarter right now, and that deck is called Witchy Lenormand because I wanted to have a witchy vibe.
Okay, I hope you're gonna send me the link to that. Like, I want all
Okay,
the link, send all the links. Send all of the links.
I will do that.
Oh my gosh. Theodora, I know I just said thank you, but I have to say thank you again. I adore you, and I just think that everything that you're doing is absolutely fabulous. And I cannot wait for you to put that class out, because I'm absolutely taking that class. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna take that class. That's absolutely amazing. I'm stoked.
Well, thank you for having me on your show. It's been wonderful. And I've learned a lot about me.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. That's one of the biggest things for me with this podcast, is so that people can learn about themselves, so that they can validate their feelings and know that who they are and what they feel is real. So, and I love that human design gets to do that. And I love that you were new and I got to validate, and you got a little bit of an interesting perspective on who you be from the lens of human design. So it's always an honor to be able to do that for somebody.
And I'm so grateful that you were in my podcast as well, which will be soon
Oh yeah, it's
released.
all coming out exactly when it should. Like,
Exactly.
that's one thing that I will not freak myself out about.
Right. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen.
100%. So thank you, boys and girls, children of all ages, for listening to this episode. And I hope you have the best day ever. Bye for now.